what's up you guys, this is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today on The Snapshot, we're doing a little bit of the quick and dirty when we take a look at some of the builds I've altered with drift mods. Okay, so you know that one of my biggest pet peeves is talking about builds without covering the mechanics. It's kinda like wanting to get off without knowing how to fuck, which I guess makes this video a bit like build pornography. Now, some of the most important parts of building a Warframe are understanding how each mod affects each ability, which statistics you should prioritize for the overall build, and the playstyle that goes along with it. Now, clearly I can't remake videos for each and every build that I've ever covered, so I figured I'd toss together some updates in regards to the drift mods. However, I will be linking the original video on screen and in the description for you mobile and tablet users, just in case you need a refresher in the mechanics. Now here's a disclaimer, if I catch you in the comments asking questions that can be answered by the original video, I'ma just tell you to check the link, because honestly, by the time you typed out your comment and waited for a response, you could've watched the video and had your question answered. I mean, let's face it, it's as bad as posting a casual encounters ad on Craigslist. Just fucking jack off, you'll get off quicker. Now the changes I'm featuring are all going to be centered around the drift mods that you can pick up in the Orokin Moon tile set. There will be a link in the description box below as to how to obtain them. Now on another note, a couple of these builds only feature minor changes. The only reason that they're here is the fact that our Twitter community voted that they should be. So if you're pissed about it and you're not following me on Twitter, then it's your own goddamn fault because you had the option to voice your opinion. Now let's do this quick and dirty, starting with Loki's Irradiating Disarm build. The only thing I really did was add in Cunning Drift. Now an argument can be made for Speed Drift as it provides Loki with even more sprint speed and quickens the casting time, disarming enemies faster, getting you out of the animation lock and allowing you to get out of the way of any stray bullets. As for Saryn's Venomous Lash build, I've added in Power Drift. However, if you want to squeeze in a little extra range, feel free to toss in Cunning Drift instead. Another interesting take on this build is that due to the fact that it's a Rage and Life Strike build, you can toss in a Rejuvenation instead of Energy Siphon. Haven't used it myself, but mechanically it seems interesting, especially when combined with the Regen from Arcane Grace. Next up is Ember's Firequake build. She's got in a Cunning Drift because I like the extra boost in crowd control range when it comes to Firequake. Power Drift is fine on this as well, with World on Fire only losing about 3 meters, gaining a little bit of extra damage and a boost to the multiplier of Accelerant. Now on to Niggs's Chaos build. Now the link on this one is kind of a lie because I'm not using Chaos Sphere here. However, with the update that occurred with Chaos a while back, I got rid of Constitution, tossed in Prime Flow to better synergize with Absorb, and finished it off with a Cunning Drift. Alrighty, Frost Snow Globe / Avalanche build is next. I'm gonna link the Frost rundown on this one since it combines 2 of his abilities and has the most up-to-date mechanics on Snow Globe. Now if you find that the balls in this iteration are too big for you, you can take it down a notch by slotting in Power Drift instead of Cunning Drift. And if you want to turn this into a Rage and Life Strike build, I'd keep in Power Drift and toss Intensify for Rage. Now, Nova's infamous Slowva build got a pretty substantial update. All you need to get the max slow on this is Intensify and Power Drift. So I went heavy into Duration this time with Narrow-Minded and Prime Continuity. Stretch is in there to offset some of Narrow-Minded's effect. However, if you'd rather have the maximum spread, you can always toss Stretch for Constitution. Now the last one for today is going to be Excalibur's Exalted Blade build. There wasn't much of a change to this one aside from my addition of Power Drift for a little extra boost in damage. However, slotting in Cunning Drift to increase the range of Radial Blind is also a feasible option. Note that I'm using Corrosive Projection on this one, and that's mainly because Exalted Blade turns off Energy Regen, and CP will actually allow you to deal more damage to armored enemy units than the melee boost from Steel Charge. Now hand in hand with this is my weapon build for Exalted Blade. Note that EB no longer pulls stats from the weapon you're using, isn't affected by weapon specific mods like Covert Lethality or the Syndicate mods, and isn't affected by body count or blood rush. So that about does it for now, but don't worry, I will be releasing more installments as I work my way through the frames. However, I do want you to keep in mind that I want to cover the frames that I specialized in first, as well as revised builds that I've touched on in the past. From that point, I'll touch on the rest of the frames, because realistically, there are some frames that are currently being reworked, and some frames that other people are just better with than I am. Seriously, it's like coming to a gay man for tips on how to eat a woman out. So it's a much smarter move if I can take care of what I know first, and then take the time to really learn the rest of the frames before I open my big mouth. Because let's face it, I only open it on 2 occasions, when I know what I'm talking about, and when I'm about to shove in one big hot dick. So thank you all for watching another episode of The Snapshot. If you want to check out a few of my more recent builds, take a look at my snapshot on Nezah's Exilus Ignition build, as well as Wukong's Primal Rage build. Now don't forget to do all the things that I ask you to do at the end of every one of these, and as always, stay tuned for more shit that I need to update here at A Gay Guy Plays. Delicious meal. Yup, that's right, food. I was talking about food. What did you think I was talking about, you nasties? Just kidding, that was totally a setup for a dick joke.